Once upon a time, in the ancient town of Bethany, there lived a man named Lazarus. Lazarus was a kind and gentle soul, loved by everyone in the community. He had a strong faith in God and lived his life with gratitude and love. One fateful day, Lazarus fell ill. His sisters, Mary and Martha, were deeply concerned about his deteriorating health. They sent word to Jesus, their dear friend and a renowned healer, pleading for his help. When Jesus received the message, he was filled with compassion for Lazarus and his family. However, instead of immediately rushing to Bethany, Jesus waited for 2 more days. His disciples were puzzled by this decision, but Jesus had a greater plan in mind. Finally, Jesus and his disciples arrived in Bethany, where they found Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Martha, filled with grief, ran to meet Jesus and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus, looking deeply into Martha's eyes, replied, "Your brother will rise again." These words brought a glimmer of hope to Martha's heart. Meanwhile, Mary, overcome with sorrow, fell at Jesus' feet and wept. Jesus, moved by her anguish, was deeply troubled. He asked the people where Lazarus had been laid to rest, and they led him to the tomb. As they stood before the tomb, Jesus asked the people to remove the stone covering the entrance. Martha hesitated, concerned about the stench of death that would emerge. But Jesus, full of confidence and faith, said, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" With great anticipation and hope, the stone was rolled away. Jesus then raised his eyes towards heaven and prayed, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this for the benefit of the people standing here so that they may believe." Then, in a loud voice, Jesus called out, "Lazarus, come out." And to everyone's astonishment, Lazarus emerged from the tomb, still bound by his grave clothes. Jesus turned to the crowd and said, "Take off his grave clothes and let him go." With joy and reverence, Lazarus was set free from the bonds of death and given a new lease on life. The story of Lazarus teaches us a powerful lesson about the power of faith and belief in God's miracles. It reminds us that even when all seems lost, there is always hope. Jesus deliberately waited for Lazarus to die and be buried to demonstrate his authority over death and the grave. Just as Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, he can breathe new life into our own circumstances, no matter how dire they may appear. This story serves as a motivation boost, encouraging us to trust in God's timing, have unwavering faith, and believe that miracles are possible. May the story of Lazarus inspire you to face challenges with courage, to hold on to hope in times of despair, and to trust in the power of God's love to bring about miraculous transformations in your own life.